Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper 2-2 of October-November 2013. So let's move on to question number 1. So here we have A, B, C, D is a level field. F and E are points on AD. So this is AD, F and E are points on AD, such that BF and CF are perpendicular to AD. Okay. Now we have BF equal to 40, C equal to 58, AF 38, FE, and ED is 42. So question part 1, it says calculate the area of the field. So how would you calculate the area of this field? So let's do this in 3 parts. So here we have one triangle, here we have a trapezium, here we have a triangle. So in 3 parts, this one is, let's call this one A, B, and C. So area will be A plus B plus C. So A will be area of a triangle, a right angle triangle. That will be half times base times height, plus B, area of trapezium, half times sum of parallel sides. It will be 40 plus 58, and times T, height, which is 38, and then plus area of the last triangle, half times base and times height. So let's simplify. So first one is half, 34, 40, plus half, times 40 plus 58, times 38, plus half, times 42, times 58. That will be 3760 meters square. That is the area of the playfield. That is part 1. So let's write this here, 3760. Now for part B, it says calculate the length of BC. So what is the length of BC? So let's have a look where is BC first. So BC here will be this length. So let's do this by deconstructing this shape. So here we have 38. It means that this here also will be 38. Right, this will be 38. Now this is 40, this is 58. It means that this will be 58 minus 40, that will be 18. This is 90 as well. So BC, we can find this by using the Pythagoras theorem. So let's sit down by Pythagoras. Given that we have this shape, so BC, then we have this. This is 18, this is 38, this is B, and this is C. So we know BC square is equal to 38 square plus 18 square, which is what? 38 square plus 18 square, that will be 1768. So BC will be root of 1768. That will be 42.0. So 42.0 will be your length of BC. Now moving on to part C, calculate the angle CDE. So what is the angle CDE? Let's first find out CDE, so find this angle. So this one is a right angle triangle, so we can use SOHCAHTOA. Right. So we know this side, this one is your adjacent side, and we know this side is your opposite side, so we have to use tan. So let's find this using tan. So tan of the angle D is equal to opposite side, which is 58, divided by the adjacent side, 42. Now D will be tan inverse of 58 over 42. So 58 divided by 42, tan inverse of that will be 54.1 degrees. So your answer part C will be 54.1 degrees. Okay, and that is question number 1. Now let's move on to question number 2. The results of a survey of the number of cars owned by 50 families are given in the table below. So number of cars is here 0, 1, 2, 3. Number of families 4, 35, 6, 5. Part 1. Calculate the mean number of cars per family. So find the mean. So this one is mean will be 0 times 4 is 0, plus 1 times 35 is 35, plus 2 times 6 is 12, plus 3 times 5 is 15. So you add all this, divide by the number of families will be 50. So let's do that. 35 plus 12 plus 15 divided by 50, that should be 1.24. So they will have 1.24 cars per family according to this table. Now for part 2, when the same 50 families were surveyed for a later date, the results were as follows. So it says the mean number of cars per family stayed the same as before. Find the value of x and y. So the mean as before, the mean before was 1.24, right? So how did you find the mean? You have to find the sum of cars divided by 50 to get 1.24. So basically the sum will be the same. Sum will be 1.24 times 50. That will be 62. Now it says find the values of x and y. So the first equation we can have is that we know that in total there's 50 families. So x plus, so first equation will be x plus 37 plus y plus 5 is equal to 50. That's the first equation. So solve this, you'll have x plus y equal to 50 minus 37 minus 5, that will be 8. So that's my first equation. Now, equation from this, we know that the sum will be, so first one will be 0 times x plus 1 times 37 plus 2 times y plus 3 times 5 is supposed to give you 62 for the sum. Now simplify. 0 times x is 0. This will be 37. This will be 2y. This will be 15 equal to 62. So 2y will be equal to 62 minus the rest. So 62 minus 37 minus 15. That will be 10. So from this we have y equal to 10 divided by 2 will be 5. So you know y is 5. So what is the value of x? X will be 8 minus y, which is 5. That will be 3. Okay. So these are the two values of x and y. Now let's move on to part B. It says a service station sells diesel, unleaded and super unleaded fuel. During 1 week, we have 13,500 liters of diesel and this much of unleaded was sold. The total number of liters of fuel sold that week was this much. Okay, so we only have this one and this one, so we don't know this one. So let's do the math. So if you do 54,000 minus the rest, minus 13,500 for diesel and minus 36,000, that will remain 4,500 for super unleaded fuel. So now we know the distribution. So part 1, what fraction of your total number of liters sold were super unleaded? So fraction will be 4500 divided by 54,000. So let's do that. 45 over 54,000. That will be 1 over 12. So your answer will be 1 over 12. Now for part 2, complete the pie chart to represent the amount of fuel sold. So first one is diesel. So let's find out. Diesel will be 13,500 divided by 54,000 times 360 to find the angle in this pie chart. So 13,500 divided by 54,000 times 360. That will be 90 degrees. So let's do 90 degrees for diesel. It will be exactly horizontal. So it's best if you measure this, but it's exactly horizontal for diesel. Now let's find for unleaded. So unleaded will be 36,000 divided by 54,000 times 360. That will be 240 degrees. So let's measure 240 degrees from this point. Or you can measure from this point. You know this one will be 180. So what is 240 minus 180? That will be 60. So on top of this, it will be 160. Sorry, 60. So let's measure 60 from this point, from this. So 0, 60 will be about here. So here you go. Join this one to this. So this one here will be unleaded, which is angle is 240, which is 180 plus 60, and the rest here will be just super unleaded. Okay, so that's it for your pie chart, and this is question number 2. Now question number 3, we have find the value of this fraction when a equals to this and b equals to this. So give your answer as a fraction. So a will be minus 4 plus root of a square will be 16 plus b square will be 9. Divide by a square will be 16 minus 2 times minus 4 and times minus 3. Simplify. Plus, this is 25, that will be 5, divide by. So what is 16 minus 2 times minus 4 times minus 3? That will be minus 8. 1 over minus 8 will be minus 1 over 8. Now let's move on to part B. Expand the brackets and simplify this equation. So let's do one by one. The first one will be 3x squared times 2x plus 3 minus 1 times 2x plus 3. And then this one will be minus 9x squared minus become plus 2x. Expand these brackets, now we will have 6x cubed plus 9x squared minus 2x minus 3 minus 9x squared plus 2x. So these two cancel out and these two cancel out. You will have 6x cubed minus 3. So this will be your answer for part B. Now for part C, factorize this one completely. So it will be a quad equation, so two brackets. We have 9. 9 will be, so we can try 9x here and x here. And here we can put 4 is 4 times 1, so that will be 1 here and 4 here. So for it to be plus 5, it has to be plus 9 and minus 4. And then minus times plus is minus, so this is good. So your answer will be 9x minus 4 times x plus 1. Now let's move on to part 2. It says to use your answer to part C1 to solve this equation. So C1 is 9x minus 1 minus 4 bracket x plus 1 equal to 0. Now solve. First one will be add. 9x minus 4 equal to 0. X plus 1 equal to 0. X will be 4 over 9 and x will be minus 1. So minus 1, 4 over 9. Now for part D, the sum of the three consecutive terms integers is 84. Find these three integers. So in those cases, you can do by trials if you want to. So what do you think will be the sum of those three integers? So by trial, I know that it should be, let's try, it can be 20, 21, or 23. So it's not enough because this one is only goes to 6. So let's try 30 something. Let's try 28, 29, and 30. Let's see what we have. 28 plus 29 plus 30, that will be 87. So that's too much. So let's try 25, 26, and 27. 25 plus 26 plus 27, that will be 78, so not enough. So let's go up by 27, 28, and 29. 27, 28, and 29, that should give me 84. So by trial and error, you can also find this pretty easily. So 27, 28, and 29. So that should be the three integers that give you this sum of 84 by trial and error. So there's other methods to do this as well, but this is one of the methods you can do that. So one of the methods you can do is, so let's say you don't know the three numbers. If the first one is a, this one will be a plus 1, this one will be a plus 2. So you know that a plus 1 plus a plus 2 is equal to 84. So find the value of a. So this, that will be 3a plus 3 equal to 84. So 3a will be equal to 81. So a will be 27. So we place a back here, that will be 27, 28, and 29. So that's the other way to find the value of these three terms. One is by trial and error, and is one by making an equation. That will be question number 3. Now, question number 4, we have A, B, and BC are chords of a circle center O. As you can see here, they are chords of this circle. Now, D is a midpoint of AB. This is the midpoint. And E is the midpoint of BC, as you can see here. Now, it says angle ABC is 108. Find angle DOE. So DOE, find this angle. So how would you find this angle? So what can we derive from this one? Usually, if every side was touching the circle, you could just use supplementary angles to find this angle. But now let's see what can we use. So we know this one is a midpoint. This one is also the midpoint. So let's see what can we do. Let's try to connect all the points together and see what's possible. So if you connect O to A and you connect O to C, what can we have? For example, so from this, actually nothing much. We just can see that this one is the radius and the radius. So nothing much is happening for this case. What else can we derive? Okay, so this seems to be a straight line. That will be 90. And this one is a straight line. This also will be 90 here. So it means that this is the fourth angle of this shape. So that will be a quad. So we have a quad BEOD. So quad has sum of angles 360. So this angle here will be, angle O will be equal to 360 minus 108 minus 90 minus 90. 90 and 90. So O will be 360 minus 108 minus 90 minus 90. That will be 72. So this is because you would say that angle BEO is equal to 90 and BDO is also equal to 90, because it was said that they are chords of the circle, and then they meet exactly at the midpoint, because B, D, A, and B, C are chords according to question. That's according to the question. And when the center meets with the chord at the center, this becomes 90 and this becomes 90. That's why this is 72 degrees. Okay, so let's move on to part B. Now, what do we have? We have two circles, center P and center Q. They intersect at the 2 points R and S. Okay. Now, part 1, it says, show that triangle PRQ is congruent with triangle PSQ. So congruent means the same. How do you prove two triangles are the same? So first one is PRQ. So PRQ is this one. Now we have PSQ. So first we have these two are the same. So you would say PR is equal to PS, because they are radius of the same circle. Radius of same circle. then we have these are the same. So PQ equal to PQ. They are common side. They are common on the both triangles. Right. Now the third one is the same as well. Let's we can use a different color. So this one will be the same as well. You can just write RQ is equal to SQ because they are the same radius of the circle as well. So radius of the same circle, center Q. So now because of that, because all the three sides are the same, so from this you can prove that triangle PRQ is congruent to triangle PSQ because of all the sides are the same, all the corresponding sides are the same. That will be part 1. Now part 2, we have these the same shape, I think. Yeah, it says that we have RS and PQ intersect at T. T is this point here. Now state the name of the special quad PRQS. So where's P? PRQS, it will be a kite. Now part B, PTR, find the angle PTR. So PTR, find this angle. So it's pretty obvious that will be 90 degrees. Okay, so that's it for question number 4. Now let's move on to question number 5, part A. So we have the universal set is an integer between 2 to 12. So 2 to 12 will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now M will be the set of multiple of 3. So let's see, we have 3, 6, 9, and 12. Multiple of 3. And P is the prime numbers, so prime number will be 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. These are prime numbers. Now part 1, find A. A will be inside of M and P. So what is the set of M and P? So let's find out. So we have 3 is common, and that's it. So only 3 is common with those two, so 3 will be your value of A. Now for part 2, find M union P prime. So first let's find M union P. So that will be these two together. We have 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, and 12. So what is M prime now? So the set prime, that will be outside of this, that will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So prime will be this set 4, 8, and 10. Now moving on to part B. In a survey, 90 people were asked, do you own a car and do you own a bicycle? A total of 27 said they own a bicycle, and of these 13 own only a bicycle. 11 people own neither a car nor a bicycle. So pretty easy. Let's call this one a set C and this one set B. So let's draw a Venn diagram. So we have two sets, C and B. This is the universal set, the big set. Now it says 27 people say they own a bicycle, so this will be 27. 13 only a bike, so 13 will be here, so this will be 14. 27 minus 13 will be 14. Now 11 people own neither a car nor a bike, so 11 will be right here. So it says that we have 90 people in total, so let's find. And this is X, so find what? So find how many people say they own a car. So we have to find X plus 14. So we know that if you add everything together, it's supposed to give you 90 people. So value of X will be equal to 90 minus 11 minus 13 minus 14. That will be 52. So X here is 52. but we're looking for the people who owns a car, which is this big set, which is 52 plus 14. That will be 66 for the value that we are looking for. And that is part B. Let's move on to next one, part C. It says the Venn diagram shows a universal set and subsets A, B, and C. So part 1, shade the set A union C prime intersection B. So what is A union C? Prime will be outside, so this will be intersecting C. Okay. Now part 2, express the set in set notation, the subset shaded in this diagram. So here we have A union B intersecting C prime. So A union B intersecting C prime. That will be the answer. And that is question number 5. Moving on to question number 6, it says the price of a bike is $620. The shopkeeper sells it and makes a profit of 45%. Calculate the selling price. So selling price will be 1.45 times the cost, because 45 is 45% of the profit. 1.45 times 620, that will be $8.99. So that's the selling price of the bike. Now part 2, in a sale, the price of a bike B is reduced from this to this. Find the percentage reduction. So what is the reduction? Will be this minus this. So 2400 minus 1596, that's the reduction. Divide by initial price 2400 times 100. That will be 33.5% will be the reduction. Percentage reduction. Of course, you have to show your work, so percentage reduction is reduction divided by this times 100. Now part 3, tax on the price of bike C is charged 20% of the original price. After tax has been included, Matthew pays this much for this bike. Calculate the original price. So let original price become X. We don't know the price. We know that 20% tax has been added to this, so for this price. So 1080 is equal to this price plus tax, it will be 1.2. 0.2 is the 20% X. So find the value of X. X will be 1080 divided by 1.2. That will be 900. So the price of the bike was $900. So I hope I hope you can understand this. So usually you will do, okay, so 20% is a tax price. Usually the price of the bike is X. So you have to add 20% of X. That will bring you 1.2X. Because this is 100% plus 20%, that will be 120%, which is 120 over 100, which is just like 1.2. So if you do 1.2 times X, it's the same as 120%. So I hope that makes sense to find the value of X, 490. Now part B, Ada invests $600 in an account that earns simple interest. That's invest, so that will be P. At the end of 3 years, that will be the number of years, so let's call it NOT. The investment is worth this much. So what amount? Find the rate of simple interest, so find the value of R. So as we know, amount is equal to P plus I is equal to PRT. So we have to find the value of R. A is this, P is 600 plus 600 times R times T. So from this, the value of R will be equal to, so 681 minus 600 divided by 600 divided by 3. So R will be 0.045, but then you have to multiply by 100 for the percentage. That will be 4.5%. So 4.5% will be your rate for this simple interest. And that is question number 6. Now question number 7, express as a single matrix. So one by one, take the 5 inside, you will have 5 times 2 is 10. That will be minus 5, and that will be 15. Minus 4 times 1 is 4, minus 12, and that will be 0. So now simplify. Let's see what we have. So 10 minus 4 is 6, minus 5 minus 12, so that will be 7, and that will be 15. So this will be your answer for part 1. Now for part 2, expressed as a single matrix. This is matrix multiplication, so it's always rows by column. So rows by column, 7 times 1 is 7, plus minus 1 times 0 is 0, plus 3 times 2 is 6. And now this row by this column, so 2 times 1 is 2, plus 0, plus 8. This will equal to 7 plus 6 will be 13, and that will be 10. 13, 10. Now part C, we have A equal to this. Find A inverse. So to find inverse, we have to first find the determinant of A. 1 times 4 minus 2 times 0. That will be 4 minus 0, which is 4. Now find the adjoint matrix of A. So we have to change the position of these two. 4 goes up, 1 goes down, and change the sign of these two. Minus 2 become plus 2. So A inverse becomes 1 over determinant times the adjoint matrix. Now for part 2, it says B plus 3i equal to A. Find the value of B. So I is a 2 by 2 identity matrix. So you need to know that I is equal to 1, 0, 0, 1. Now B is equal to A minus 3i. A is given by 1 minus 2, 0, 4, minus 3i will be 3 times this, 3, 0, 0, 3. So if you simplify, 1 minus 3 will be minus 2, 0 minus 0, that will be 0, minus 2 minus 0 is minus 2, 4 minus 3 will be 1. So this is your answer for part 2, and that is question number 7. Let's move on to question number 8. So here we have the diagram shows a sector AOB of a circle center of radius 6. The angle of sector is 310, as you can see, 310. So part 1, calculate the perimeter of the sector. So how would you find this perimeter? So pretty easy. We use the formula. Angle will be 310 over 360 times this one will be, we know we have to use 2 pi r will be radius 6. That will be this side. Then we have to add this and this, which is 6 plus 6. So 310 divided by 360 times 2 pi times 6. And plus 6 plus 6, that will be 44.5. So 44.5 will be the perimeter of this sector. Now part B, calculate the area of the sector. So area will be angle, which is 310 divided by 360 times pi r square, which is 6 square. So 310 divided by 360 times pi times 36. That will be 97.4. So 97.4 centimeters square. So let's move on to part C now. So the sector is cut from a rectangular piece of chord of height 12 and width W. Now let's see, what does it say? One edge of the rectangular piece of chord passes through A and B. The other edge are tangents to the circle. So this edge passes through A and B, but the other edge are tangent to the circle. So if I connect, for example, if I connect this one, let's see, if I connect this one here, it will be exactly 90. Tangents, also same thing here, if you connect, that will be 90 as well. So tangent and tangent. That's what it means. Now part 1, calculate the value of W, which is this width. So how would you find the value of W from this diagram? So let me just complete this shaded region. So it says this one is a rectangular piece. Given that this is 6 radius, this is also the radius, and this is also the radius. So what will be this length here? We have to find the value of this length, or this, to find the value of W. So from observation you can see that this is given by this length here. It is 6. So we just have to find this one. What is this length? Let's call this one x. So to find W, we need to find x plus 6. So 6 we know already for this part, so we have to find this remaining part. So let's see what can we derive. So this will be the same as this side here. If you join these two, here you have a right angle. Here you have, what is this angle here? So we can find that. So this is 310. So in total we have 360 minus 310. That will be 50. So half will be 25. So let's take out this triangle. We have this is straight, this and this. This is 90. This is 25. This is O. This is, let's call this one Y. This is the length of x, so x, right, x, we're trying to find x. This one is given by 6. So since we have a right angle triangle, we can use SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. So this one is the hypotenuse, h and h. This one is the adjacent side, so a. So we have to use cos. So cos of 25 degrees. So again, where did we get 25? Because this is 310. This is circle 360. So remaining will be 50. Now it is divides exactly in half because this is 6 and 6 are the same. So this line will be cutting them in half exactly. That will be 25. That's why we have 25 equal to adjacent side, which is x over 6. Now x will be 6 cos 25. So 6 cos 25, that will be 5.44. Now we have this value, so we have to find W. W is x plus 6, so 5.44 plus 6, which is 11.4 centimeters for the value of W. Now part 2, it says when the sector is cut out, the triangle AOB is retained. Okay, so when you take out the sector, we have the triangle AOB remains. Okay, now it says the rest of the triangle piece of card shown as shaded is discarded as waste. Calculate the percentage of the rectangular piece of card that is discarded as waste. So find the percentage that is thrown away as waste. So first what we can do is we can find the area of the full rectangle. So area of rectangle, that will be length times width. So length is 12 times width will be 11.4. So 12 times 11.4, that should be 136.8. That's the total area. So now you have to take off the area of this one, area of sector. So area of sector. So we have done this in part B here, which is 97.4. 97.4. Now what is the area of the triangle? Right, area of triangle AOB. How do you find that area? So here we see that we have these two sides are the same and we have this angle, so we can use the sine rule. So half sine of the angle 50 times 6 times 6 to find the area of triangle AOB. Half sine of 50 times 6 times 6, that will be 13.8. So what is the remaining area? Remaining area is the waste area that we don't need anymore, which is 136.8 minus 97.4 minus 13.8. So 136.8 minus 97.4 minus answer, that should be 25.6. So the percentage that we are discarding, it will be 25.6 over total area 136.8 times 100. That will be 18.7%. That one will be discarding. And this is your answer for part 2, and that is question number 8. Let's move on to question number 9. The variables x and y are connected by this equation. So the table below shows the values of x and the corresponding values of y. So for these values of x, we have these values of y. Now for part A, on the grid, plot the points given in the table and join them with a smooth curve. So let's plot the points one by one. So first one we have 0.25 and 4.25. So 0.25 will be right here, and 4.25 will be between this one. That's the first point. And we have 0.5 and 2.5. So 0.5, 2.5 will be this one. Then we have 0.75, 2.08. That will be about here. Then we have 1, 2, right here. Then we have 1.25 and 2.05. It will be in between. And we have 1.5, 2.17. That should be right here. And we have 1.75, 2.32. So 2.32. And then we have 2.5. That should be on this side. So now next step is to join all the points by a smooth curve. So let's try that. So this point will be this one, and this one. Try your best to make it smooth as possible. Okay, all right, here you go. So mine is not too great, but that should be the shape of your curve. Now let's move on to part B of the question. It tells me that by drawing a tangent, estimate the gradient of the curve at this point, x equal to 0.75. So 0.75 will be this point. So let's draw a tangent to this point. It should be about this line. Okay, so now we have to look for one point on this side. Let's take this point, and let's take this point on this side. So the first point will be 0, 2.6. So first point is 0, 2.6, and we have this point will be 1.5. That will be 1.55. Okay, so double check. So 1.5, 1.55. Okay, good. Now to find the gradient, we just have to do y2 minus y1. So 1.55 minus 2.6 divided by 1.5 minus 0. So 1.55 minus 2.6 divided by 1.5. That should be minus 0.7. Okay. Now moving on to part C. Let f of x equal to x plus 1 over x. Now, given that f of a equal to b, so f of a will be what? Replace a in x, you will have a plus 1 over a. This is equal to b. So this thing is equal to b. Now, find f of minus a in terms of b. So replace minus a, you will have minus a minus 1 over b, which is equal to, take out minus 1 outside, you will have a plus 1 over a. So 1 plus 1 over a is equal to b, so this is b. It means this is equal to minus b. So minus b will be your answer for part 1. So now part 2, hence or otherwise complete the table for the values of this, for this negative values. So pretty easy here, because as you can see, when the values were positive, the answer were positive. Now when the values are negative, the answer should be negative as well. So same way, let's use this table to write down the corresponding values in this table. So same way, as you can see here, for value of 2, it is 2.5. So if it was minus 2, it should be minus 2.5. Right, so that's right, minus 2, minus 2.5. So same way, we'll do the rest on this table. So minus 1.75 will be minus 2.32. Minus 1.5 will be minus 2.17. Then we have minus 2.05, minus 2, minus 2.08, minus 2.5, and minus 4.25. Okay, this is the table for part 2. Now part 3, on the grid below, opposite, draw the graph of this for this range, from minus 2 to minus 0.0525. So let's plot a graph on this grid. So the first point here is, so let me just position this properly. First one will be minus 2. Minus 2.5 will be right here. Then we have minus 1.75 will be here. And then that will be minus 2.32. 2.3 will be about here. Then we have minus 1.5, minus 2.17. Then we have minus 1.25, that should be minus 2.05 right here in between. And we have minus 1, minus 2 on the line. Then we have minus 0.75, that will be minus 0.28 right here. Then we have minus 0.5, that should be minus 0.25 will be right here. And then we have minus 0.25 will be minus 4.25 will be between these two. Okay, so now we have these points here. So same thing, join the points as smoothly as you can. So it will be with this line. So connecting the dots as smoothly as you can. Okay, so that will be my other curve. So now question, let's move on to part 4. It says, write down an estimate for the gradient of the curve at this point. So let's have a look. The point minus will be this right here. And the gradient is basically like this. If you were to draw the gradient, it looks similar to this one, as you can see. So you can write it has the same gradient. So that will be minus 0.7 as well. Okay, let's look at the next one now. So part D, we have 1. On the grid opposite, draw the line y equal to this. So to draw the line, we have to find 2 points on the line. So first point will be at x equal to 0, y equal to 4. And the next one will be at x equal to 2, y equal to 2 as well. So let's draw that. So first point is 0, 4. So 0, 4 will be here. And 2, 2 will be right here. So let's connect these two to draw the line. So as you can see, this will be your line. Line y equal to 4 minus x. So now what is the question? It asks you to find the x coordinate of the points where they intersect. So pretty easy. You just have to find where they cut the graph. So as you can see, we have 2 points. So one point is this one. Shows to be about here, and this one will be on this line. Okay, so for me it shows to be about, so 1 square, so this is 20 squares, so 20 small squares is 1, so let's do 1 divided by 20, that will be 0.05 is 1 square, so we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so times 6 will be 0.3, so the first answer will be 0.3, and this one will be, let's count, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 times 0.05 plus this one is 1.5. That will be 1.7. So your two values will be 0.3 and 1.7 for the x coordinates. And let's move on to the last question. So part 3, find the equation for which the x values are solutions. So pretty easy, we have to solve this and this simultaneously. So replace y in this one, you will have 4 minus x equal to x plus 1 over x. Now multiply everywhere by x to get rid of this x. You will have 4x minus x squared equal to x squared plus 1. Now you have 2x squared minus 4x plus 1 equal to 0. So this one is in this form. So this will be your answer. So 2x squared minus 4x plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, and that is question number 9. Now this one is question number 10. So about A. So we have 2 balls sailed from A and 1 ball sailed from B. And the other ball sails to C. So 2C to B and from A. Okay, so we have 2 balls which sails from A, 1 goes to B and 1 goes to C. Now we have AB equal to 8, AC equal to 6, and BAC equal to 115. So part 1, calculate the distance BC between the 2 boats. So let's first join those 2 points together and we can find the distance BC. So as you observe here, we have these two sides and we have this angle in between. We can use the cosine rule. So cosine of 115 equal to 8 square plus 6 square minus BC square divided by 2 times 8 and times 6. So if you cross multiply, you will have what? So 2 times 8 times 6, that will be 96. So 96 cos of 115 equal to 8 square plus 6 square, that will be 100 minus BC square. So now make BC the subject of formula. That will be BC square will be 100 minus 96 cos of 115. So BC will be equal to 100 minus 96 cos 115. That will be 140.57 root. So root of that will give you 11.9. So BC will be 11.9 km. This is part 1. And part B, the bearing of B from A is 200. So the bearing of B from A is 200. Okay, so bearing of B from A will be, so this angle here will be 200. Which means this one is what? So 200 minus 115, that will be 85. So bearing of C from A will be 85 for this small one. Okay, now question is what? Question is to find the bearing of A from C. So from the bearing of A from C, so go to point C and draw the north line and find the bearing. So we are looking for this angle, so this angle. So we know this will be the same as this, so this is 85, this is 180, so 180 plus 85 will be the bearing, so 265 will be your answer for the bearing of A from C. So just to recap, if you want to find the bearing of A from C, you first have to draw the north line and then determine which angle is the bearing of A from C. So this is the angle A from C. So we can break this angle into two parts. So this from here will be 180 and this will be 85. So why is this 85? Because these two lines are in the same direction. This angle here will be equal to this angle here. That's why this is 85 and this is 180. That's why you have 265 for the bearing. Now let's moving on to part B in this question. So we have triangle PQS and then we have SQP equal to 65. Then we have QSP equal to 44. And we have R as a point on QS such that QR is 200 and RPS is 36. Now question, part 1. In the triangle PQR, by using the sine rule, show that PR is this side, is equal to this. So how would you find PR? So first thing, as you can see, we have triangle PSR. We have these two angles, so this third one we can find by simply taking 180 minus the other two angles. That will be 100. So if this is 100, this is a straight line, this will be 80. And what is this one? This one will be, that will be 180 minus 80 minus 65. That will be 35. So as you observe, we can use the sine rule here. So we have this angle, which has this side opposite, and this angle, which is on the PR side. So let's use the sine rule. So we write 200 over the angle of sine 35 is equal to PR over sine of 65. So from this, if you make PR the subject of formula, that will become 200 sine of 65 divided by sine of 35. So this is shown as required. Let's move on to part 2. Hence, show that SR is equal to this. So how would you find SR? Let's see. SR is this part. If you know PR already, we can find SR. So PR will be the angle opposite this, and SR will be this one. So again, we have to use the sine rule again. So you write SR over the sine of the angle opposite, that will be 36, is equal to PR over sine of 44. Now we're looking for sine of, so that we're looking for SR, so let's make SR the subject of formula. So SR will be equal to PR times sine of 36 divided by sine of 44. Now let's expand PR. As you can see, PR is equal to this, so let's write this here. That will be 200 sine of 65 times sine of 36 over sine of 35 times sine of 44. So this will be SR, and this is shown as required. Now part 3, we have to find the length of SR, so solve this, equate this to find SR. So 200 sine of 65 times sine of 36 divided by sine of 35 times sine of 44. That will be 267.4. That will be the length of SR. Now part 4 here, hence evaluate the area of SPQ, area of PQR. So where is SPQ? So SPQ is the big, as you can see, it's the big one. It's the big triangle. And PQR is a small one. So how would you find area of the triangle? Usually you will do half times base times height times the perpendicular height. Well, this will be the perpendicular height. Right. Let's call this one H. So let's see, how would you find area of SPQ, of the big one? You will do half times SQ times height, which is H. That's area of SPQ. Now how would you find area of PQR? You will do half times base, which is 200, times H equal to area of PQR. As you can see, these two are the same. So the question is to find the ratio of SPQ over PQR. That's the ratio that we need to find. So doing ratio here, do ratio here. So these two are the same, cancel out. These two are the same, cancel out. So we have to compare SQ over 200. So what is the length of SQ? We know SR is equal to 267.4 from this part right here. So let's replace. So this is basically the same thing as here. So we have to compare SQ over 200. So SQ will be this plus 200. That will be 467.4 divided by 200. So let's see what is the value. So 467.4 divided by 200. That will be 2.34. So this will be your answer for part 4. That's the ratio. Okay, and that is part B of this question. Let's move on to question number 11. So expressed as a single fraction in its simplest form. So we have to simplify these two fractions. So as you can see, the base are different. So we multiply them by each other. So p plus 2 times 2p minus 3. Next step is to cross multiply. 7 times 2p minus 3 minus 4 times p plus 2. Now we can just expand. You will have, the base can remain the same. That is okay. So this 2p minus 3. Let's simplify the top on this side. You will have 14p minus 21 minus 4p minus 8. That will give you 10p minus 29. So 10p minus 29 will be your answer. So you can just write this down. You don't need to expand the bottom. So 10p minus 29 divided by the same base. Okay, now let's move on to part B. The distance between London and York is 320 km. A train takes X hours to travel from London to York. So part 1, write down an expression in terms of X for the average speed of the train. As you know, speed is equal to distance over time. So speed distance is 320. Over time will be X. So your answer will be 320 over X. Now for part 2, a car takes 2.5, so 2.5 is 2.5 longer than the train to travel from this to this. So if you take longer, it means you take X plus 2.5, right, longer. The average speed of the train is 80 km. per hour bigger than the average speed of the car. So the average speed of the train will be this plus 80 from what we have here. Now, so I think this where we use this one is we have to use this when we do the difference. So form an equation in x and show that it simplifies to this. So we have to use this thing. It says that the average speed of the train minus the average speed of the car is equal to 80. So we have to use this equation to find that. So what is the average speed of the train is given by 320 over x minus what is the average speed of the car. So as you know, the formula is speed is equal to distance by time. Distance is the same, 320. Time will be x plus 2.5 equal to 80. Now we have to simplify. So first step, we have to make this become the same base. That will become x times x plus 2.5, and then we cross multiply. That will become 320x plus, so what is 2.5 times 320? That will be 800 minus 320x equal to 80. So now let's simplify. You will have on this side, this will go away, so you will have 800 equal to 80x times x plus 2.5. Simplify, that will be 80x squared. So 2.5 times 80, that will be plus 200x. Now we can simplify as well. So now we have 80x squared plus 200x minus 800 equal to 0. So we can divide everywhere by, let's try to divide by 40. You'll have 2x squared plus 50x minus 20. So if you divide by 40 everywhere, you get this one, and this is the same as that we need here. So same, shown as required. Moving on to part 3, solve the equation 2x squared plus 5x minus 20 equal to 0, correct to 2 dp. So value of a will be 2, b will be 5, and c will be minus 20. So x will be equal to minus b, so minus 5 plus minus b squared, which is 25 minus 4 times a, times c. Divide by 2a, which will be 4. So let's do the simplification. So 25 minus 4 times 2 times minus 20, that should be minus 30. That will be 185. So square root of 185 over 4. Now we have two values, so x equal to minus 5 minus 185 over 4, or it can be x equal to minus 5 plus root of 185 divided by 4. So minus 5 minus 185 divided by 4 will be minus 4.65, or it can be, let's do this one, minus 5 plus root of 185, that will be 2.15. So the two possible values that we have will be minus 4.65, or it can be 2.15. Now the real value of x, since x represents time, we can only take positive value. So part 4, hence find the average speed of the car correct to the nearest. So average speed is equal to distance divided by time. Distance will be 320. Time will be this, x plus 2.5. So let's see how much we have. What is our value? X will be answer plus 2.5. That will be 68.811. So your answer will be 69 kilometers per hour, correct to the nearest speed. So that will be your answer for this question. Let's move on to question number 12. So we have part A. Part 1, we have AD equal to 61. So AD is 61. Part 1, find the magnitude of AD. So pretty easy. Square root of 6 squared plus 1 squared. That will be 36 plus 1, that will be 37. So you can solve this if you want to. Root of 37, that is 6.08, correct to 3SF. Now part 2, AF is equal to 1, 2. H is the midpoint of AD. Find EH. No. So now we have AE is equal to 1, 2. And then H is the midpoint of AD. So given that AD is given by this one, midpoint will be half, which is 3, 0.5. Half. This is same as well, 3, 0.5. Right. Now find the value of EH. EH will be in this direction. That will be EA/AH. So EA is given by minus 1 minus 2 plus AH, that is 3, 0.5. That will be 2 and minus 1.5. That's your value for EH. So let's move on to part 3. It says BF equal to 1.50, that is BF, which is 1.50. And CG, where is CG? This one is CG, is given by 0.5 and minus 1.5. That's the CG. F is the midpoint of BC, so which means this one is also 1.50. Find FG. So FG will be FCCG. So FC is given by 1.50 plus CG will be 0.5 and minus 1.5, which is 2 minus 1.5. That's FG. So write it down. FG will be 2 minus 1.5, and we have EH is also the same. So 2 minus 1.5. Now let's write part this one. So use your answers to part 2 and part 3. Complete the following statement. So we have the lines EH and FGR. So as you have seen, EH and FGR, they are the same. So they are equal. And as you can see, they are in the same direction. So they are parallel. Now part 5, given that E is a midpoint of AB, show that G is a midpoint of CD. So given that E is a midpoint of AB, that's the midpoint, which means this is also 1, 2. So we have to show that G is a midpoint of, so G is a midpoint of CD. So let's find, we have to find this value. So how do you find GD? So if GD equal to this one, it means it is a midpoint of CD. So GD will be GF, FB, BE, BH, and HD. So that's a long thing to write, but let's do that. So GD will equal to GF, which is 2 minus 1.5. GF will be in this direction, so that will be negative, plus, then we have to do FB will be negative as well, of 1.50, plus, it will be BE, that will be minus 1, 2, and we have EF in this direction, plus 2 minus 1.5, and then we have this one, which is HD, 3, 0.5, so plus 3, 0.5, and all this is the value of GD. So let's solve. This one will be cancelled, and here we have minus 1.5 minus 1 plus 3, and here we have 0 minus 2 plus 0.5. So let's see what we have remaining. It will become, so minus 1.5 minus 1 plus 3, that will be 0.5, and we have 0 minus 2 minus 0. So plus 0.5, that will be minus 1.5. So that is your value for GD, so which is 0.5 minus 1.5. So we have shown that C, G, and GD are the same, so they are. So basically G will be the midpoint, if that makes sense. So we have a line CD, CG and GD are the same, so it means that G is the midpoint. So since we have CD, so since we have CG and GD are the same, so since CG equal to GD, it means that G is the midpoint of CD. That is part 5. Let's move on to part B. So here we have a shape A of a triangle A. It says triangle A has vertices 1, 2, 1, 5, and 3, 5. Part 1, an enlargement of center 1, 2. So 1, 2 will be here. Scale factor 1.5 maps A onto B. Draw and label triangle B. So 1.5, so times 1.5. The center is right here. So 1.5 will be in this direction, so it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what is 6 times 1.5? That will be 9. So 6, 7, 8, 9 become this point. How about this one? So this is, what is this distance? So let's count. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is 4 and 6 times 1.5. That will be what? So 4 times 1.5, that will be 6. And 6 times 1.5, that will be 9. So the new point will be 6, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So as you can see, we have 2 points. Just join them to form the new triangle B. So this one does not change because it is on the center of enlargement. That's why it does not change. But for the rest, as you can see, this is your new triangle A. So this is the point, point, point. This is triangle B. Now this is done. Part 2, an enlargement of center, the same center of scale factor minus 0.5. So minus 0.5, it will be in the opposite direction. So it will go downwards. If this was 6, so this is 6 times 0.5, it will become 3. So count 1, 2, 3 right here. Now for this one, it was 4, 6. So we have to do 4, 6 times 0.5, that will be 2, 3. But it will be obviously negative in this direction, right? So minus 2, 1, 2, and minus 2, 1, 2, 3 will be right here. So this will be your triangle C. This is triangle C. So just to recap, for a scale factor when it is minus 5, you take this distance. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times minus 5 is minus 3. So from this point, minus 3 will be 1, 2, 3. So this point. And this one, for this you have to count 4 and 6 times minus 0.5. You will have 2, 3, which is minus as well. So minus 2, 1, 2, and 3, minus 3 will come here. So joining those 3 points, you have triangle C. Now for part 3, find the ratio of triangle C and triangle B. So here we have B and C. So let's compare their corresponding side. So here we have this one, which is 1, 2, and 3. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the side is 3, 2, 9, which is 1, 2, 3. If you, this is sides, if you compare area, you have to square both sides, which is 1 to 9. So area of C will be 1, and area of B will be 9. Okay, so that was the last question of this paper. I hope that was somewhat helpful. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys soon.